So we are fresh into 2025 and a lot has changed in Google Ads lately. For that reason, I thought it would be great to make this video where I walk you through the best Google Ads campaign structure in 2025 right now. This is what I'm using in almost all of my accounts and what I've seen the best performance with over recent weeks and months. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Max. I run Crakanthorp, where we generate millions of dollars for our clients using Google Ads and get them a fantastic return on ad spend in the process. If that is something that you're interested in, please feel free to click the link down below and book a call with me. Otherwise, let's get right into this video and I'm going to show you how to get the best Google Ads campaign structure in 2025. So let me move this out of the way here for you guys. First of all, and arguably the most contentious topic when it comes to Google Ads campaigns is branded campaigns. Now, some people hate them, I don't. And one thing I said lately on one of my socials was that I have never seen a really high scale, high spend, high revenue account that doesn't have branded campaigns. It's a fundamental part of Google Ads. It's a fundamental part of the funnel. If you don't want to include it just because you're worried you may bid on your own keyword, which is the point of it, then maybe you just haven't spent enough money on Google Ads yet. Anyway, let's get right into why they are important. So branded campaigns, this is how overall, I sort of skipped a step here. We'll move back one step quickly. So the broad categories of campaigns we're going to be walking through in this structure are branded campaigns, prospecting campaigns, remarketing campaigns, and demand generation campaigns. These are the buckets that make up your overall account structure. With all of these accounted for, you can cover every stage and every part of the funnel in your Google Ads account. So as I was about to start, the branded campaigns are the lowest part of the funnel. These are at the very bottom of the funnel, and these are people who are searching for your brand. You want to be there when someone is searching for your brand, either in the search results or in the shopping results, right? Now, I recommend running both branded search and branded shopping if you're an e-commerce store. If you're a service-based business, all you need is a search campaign. And the reason why it's important to run these branded campaigns is, well, there are multiple reasons rather. First of all, you want to be providing the algorithm with optimization data, right? Branded campaigns are a very high quality source of data for your Google Ads account. They basically give your Google Ads account all of the data to show, hey, look, this is what my best customers look like. This is what my ideal customers look like. All the people who are searching for me, they love my brand, they know me, they want to purchase from me, they look like this. They may be a 30-year-old male who likes fishing, right? That if you're selling fishing products. And that is why branded campaigns are so important, because they tell Google, they tell the algorithm, this is what you need to target more of, right? So it shows them, hey, these are my customers, find more of them. Very, very important, especially when you're at high scale and when you want to start ramping up your prospecting and new customer acquisition, because you have that data in the account. Another great quality of branded campaigns is that they clarify and improve your attribution. So if you mix in all of your branded, non-branded traffic all into one campaign, it's very unclear where your money's coming from. When you separate branded traffic out from non-branded traffic, it becomes very clear, abundantly clear, how much you're spending on brand, how much you're generating on brand, right? Ideally, the ratio should be very high. You're getting a lot back for what you put in because it is people who are already searching for your brand. Now, the final point, which becomes very important when you're a larger brand and when you have major competitors, is it allows you to protect your brand name from competitor searches. When you get to a certain size, your competitors will want to try and leech off your audience, right? They will probably start running competitor campaigns where they bid on your keywords, and you don't want them stealing your traffic because then you've just lost a whole customer and all of their lifetime value. So what you do is you bid on your own keywords to make sure that you're always showing up number one, you're always there at the top of the search, you're always there for your customer when they need you, right? It's going to be incredibly cheap for you to bid on your own keywords versus competitors due to things like quality score with ads. So Google does give you the advantage when you're bidding on your own keywords, and you need to take advantage of that and really make the most of it. Otherwise, you're simply allowing your competitors to steal your customers. No, not good, right? Here are some tips for running your branded campaigns. Use manual CPC or target impression share bidding strategies, right? So with branded campaigns, you never want to use maximize conversion value or maximize conversions, any of those conversion-based bidding strategies, because Google will artificially pump up your conversion costs and your CPAs. So we do not want that. Rather, we go with the more manual strategy, so manual CPC, which allows you to bid specific manual cost per click values on your branded keywords, or target impression share, which allows you to target a specific share of impressions for your chosen keywords. So usually I'd recommend going with 90%. 90% target impression share, right? If you're going to run target impression share bidding. So that means you're showing up 90% of the time for your branded keywords, which is generally enough, right? Now, another important tip for branded campaigns is that you only want to allocate a small portion of your budget, right? Now, this is where it blends with the people who dislike branded, right? Because people dislike branded because they think they're wasting money on their own terms, right? They think these people are going to convert anyway. Why am I spending money on it? Yes, they will probably convert anyway, but on the off chance they don't, in the case of competitors advertising on your keywords, or just in the case that you want to gather that data, it's really good to have this here, right? And I do agree that you don't want to be spending an enormous amount of money on branded, right? And that's completely fair. It's not going to be a high return if you're spending a lot of money on your branded traffic. So that's why you only allocate a small portion for a really outsized return as far as performance, data, and just general account attribution goes, right? So I recommend only giving this a very small portion, 5 to 10% of the full account budget, quite small. You don't need to go super high. You can drive it up if you really want to be capturing all of your branded traffic, which does become important down the line. But generally for starting accounts, I only recommend 10, maybe 15% of the budget, but usually around that 10% mark. Ensure you're targeting only branded traffic, right? So make sure that with your keywords in here, the keywords that you provide are only relevant to your brand, right? So you try and brainstorm all the things that your customers will be searching when they look for your brand. So if your name is, let's say Frank's Fishing, you sell fishing products, you only want to be showing up for people searching for Frank's Fishing rods, anything with Frank's in it, right? You don't want to be showing up for just fishing because that's not a branded search. Only searches with your brand name included. All right, now let's move on. Prospecting campaigns. So we have either prospecting search or prospecting shopping, right? Prospecting shopping if you're an e-commerce brand, prospecting search if you're a service-based brand. You can do both if you're an e-com. Generally, shopping will perform better, but you can have a search prospecting campaign in e-com as well. So you can do both. What are these campaigns? They are the primary driver of new customer acquisition. So this is how you're going to be getting your new customers and where the majority of your budget will be going in Google, because you want to be spending the most on new customers, right? These are extremely scalable campaign types with really high quality data insights in comparison to something like your PMAX campaigns. So they're really, really good for giving you more insights on your traffic, what they look like, what they're searching, and who they are. It is the most important campaign type. While I said, branded are important, you're not going to get anywhere on Google Ads if you're just acquiring people who already know about you. This is how you find your new customers, grow your business, and increase your new customer acquisition. Very, very important, right? Tips. How do you run a prospecting campaign type, right? So you will want to start with manual CPC and then transition to conversion-based bidding once you have got some conversion data in the account. Usually I recommend 15 to 30 conversions in the account. You can start testing with conversion-based bidding, right? When you are running max conversion value bidding, after you have graduated to max conversion value bidding, after starting with manual CPC or starting with even max clicks, moving up to conversion-based bidding and running max conversion value and then adding a TROAS, you want to have a low TROAS on your prospecting campaigns compared to a higher TROAS on your remarketing campaigns, specifically the PMAX one. This is because it allows you to prioritize your prospecting over your remarketing campaigns. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we come to the PMAX discussion, but just keep a lower TROAS than your PMAX campaigns at all times, which allows your shopping campaigns to prospect effectively. All right, the majority of your budget should be allocated towards these campaigns. As I mentioned above, this is your primary driver of growth, and it needs to be targeting only new traffic, right? You don't want to target any branded traffic. Exclude branded traffic, and ideally also exclude past website visitors, right? If you can afford to do that, if you have the data to do that, if you have the audience set up, exclude past website visitors, because that's going to make sure that you're only getting brand new traffic and brand new customers with these prospecting campaigns. By the way, quick note, I will be giving you a live example, walking you through one of the accounts I'm managing right now, which is this exact structure in the account, and I'll show you exactly how it works. All right, so remarketing campaigns. These are a little bit more complex, but again, relatively easy to run if you have your structure set correctly. Now, for most people, you'll only really need to run a PMAX campaign as a remarketing campaign if you set it up correctly. And when I say that, the most important part of the PMAX, we'll get to in a sec actually. First of all, what do these remarketing campaigns do? They remarket to your customers already in the funnel, right? So your branded campaigns, they market to people who are already searching for your brand. The prospecting campaigns go out and find new people to sell your products to, people who may not know about you already. And then this remarketing campaign will show your ads once again to people who have seen your prospecting campaigns, click through to your website, seen your products, and maybe even know your brand, right? But they're not going to be people who are searching for your brand. That's just for the branded campaigns. So what this remarketing campaign does is it leverages PMAX remarketing without encroaching on your brand. This is a big issue that was in Google for a long time, is that whenever you used PMAX campaigns, they'd absorb a huge amount of branded traffic. And also just, it would basically take over all of your traffic, right? PMAX would just steal everything. But there are now some mechanisms in Google which allow us to really tighten up the PMAX targeting and use it pretty much as just a remarketing tool, which is really, really powerful because PMAX has placements on so many different networks across Google, and it has a really powerful algorithm for showing the placements in the right order to achieve a purchase, right, or achieve a conversion. Now, here are the tips. These are very important tips. Keep these in mind whenever you're setting it up. Mainly PMAX, right? Display remarketing, I will mention briefly. It's just a way of doing more manual remarketing. You can pick specific audiences, specific page visitors, show them specific campaigns, images, copy across the display networks. This is on various websites where you see the ads pop up on the top or on the right, across YouTube as well. It basically just lets you show your ads to people while they're browsing the web, right? Engage in these campaigns for remarketing if you need, but I usually recommend going with PMAX first at this point in time. So when you are using this PMAX campaign as a remarketing campaign type, set a higher TROAS on the PMAX campaign than prospecting shopping. This is very, very important. This is the most important thing, or one of the two most important things you need to do on this PMAX remarketing campaign. Needs a higher TROAS, right? This forces it to only search for your highest intent traffic, which is going to be remarketing traffic if you've excluded branded traffic, which is the other most important thing, right? These are the two most important things for your PMAX campaign. Exclude branded traffic from PMAX by submitting a keyword list to Google Support. This one's a little bit annoying, but it's not too hard to do. All you have to do is create a negative keyword list. So you go into your tools, shared assets on Google, on the Google Ads dashboard, create a negative keyword list. And once you have that list of negative keywords, you want to go to a Google form, which I'll try and link below in the description for you. It's a form where you can reach out to Google and ask for them to apply a negative keyword list to your PMAX campaign. You apply that branded keyword, negative keyword list to your PMAX campaign, and then that'll exclude branded traffic for the most part from your PMAX campaign, which then, once branded is excluded and you set a high TROAS, it forces Google to only go after remarketing traffic with this PMAX campaign, or mostly remarketing traffic, either remarketing or really high intent users, or what it thinks are really high intent users, which allows you to use the shopping campaigns then as prospecting tools for new customers with the lower TROAS, right? It's basically telling Google, hey, you can be more lenient with the customers you target on shopping because I'm giving you a lower TROAS. So you can be more lenient with the people you're finding, which is going to force it to find new customers. While on here, you're telling Google, hey, I only want you to find the high intent customers with this campaign, which usually ends up being remarketing or high intent visitors. So keep that in mind when you're running this campaign. Both very important. Sorry, it's a little bit convoluted. I know it's a little bit complex, but I promise you this structure does work well when it's set up correctly. And it's sort of the cutting edge thing right now with Google Ads from what I've seen across a few different users and a lot of accounts. PMAX remarketing alone will be sufficient for most brands. Like I said, you can really use this PMAX to your advantage. I only recommend introducing this, by the way, when you already have conversion data in the account and when you already have a successful branded and prospecting setup, right? This is when you introduce the remarketing with PMAX. If you need really specific remarketing, that's when you use display remarketing. But if you need just general product remarketing, do it with PMAX for most cases, right? And that is just about everything on the remarketing campaigns for now. Finally, we have demand generation campaigns, right? These are in the form of demand gen and video campaign types. Video is being sunset, so you probably want to be using demand gen. Sometimes video does perform better though, which is a bit frustrating, but use both, test with both, see which works better for you. They both pretty much do the same thing. If you're running YouTube ads, if you're running video ads, if you're running static image demand gen campaigns, then that must be done on demand gen. What do demand gen campaigns do? They create new demand for your brand once existing demand has been captured, right? So we've already covered the middle and bottom of funnel, right? Bottom of funnel is brand campaigns and remarketing campaigns. These are people who know about you, who are ready to purchase, they're already looking for your product, and they're already looking for you. Middle of funnel is these prospecting campaigns, right? It's targeting people who are searching for your product but may not know about you, right? This is excluding branded traffic rather. So this is people who are searching for, a fishing rod, but they don't know about Frank's Fishing. So that's who we're targeting with these prospecting campaigns. And now finally, demand gen campaigns is people who don't even know they need a new fishing rod yet, but they want one, right? So these are people who, they don't know they need a new fishing rod, but if you pose it to them, they'd probably be open to buying a fishing rod, right? So imagine this like YouTube ads that are targeted towards people who are a part of your target audience, but haven't yet expressed interest in buying, or maybe expressed a small amount of interest, right? So what it does is it creates a whole new base of customers to bring into your middle and bottom of funnel campaigns, which is really, really important when you're looking to grow, right? You'll get to a point eventually, if you run just these middle funnel, bottom funnel campaign types, you'll eventually reach a point where you can't scale any further because you've fully saturated your traffic, right? You've fully saturated all your demand capture. You need to move into demand generation, and that's what these are for. And what you'll find is that they often do have the lowest ROAS, but the highest overall impact on growth and new customer acquisition. So ultimately, for almost any brand on Google, you need to take a hit to your return on ad spend, a hit to your efficiency in order to grow and gain more new customers. And that's what demand generation is all about, right? Tips for running these campaigns. Introduce these campaign types after establishing performance with demand capture campaigns, right? So these are all your demand capture types, like I said. Once you've seen these work and you're getting performance with these and you're getting consistent results, start introducing demand gen, right? Start waning it in. And then if you do get to a point where you're completely saturating all of these campaign types, then you definitely need to bring in demand generation, right? Now, expect a lower ROAS on these demand gen campaigns, but an overall lift to new customer acquisition, right? This is really hard to measure in platform. It's really hard to measure the effect of demand gen campaigns within the Google Ads platform. So you need to be keeping a close eye on how these efforts align with your business as a whole. If you see yourself starting demand gen campaigns and you see an overall lift to the amount of new customers coming into your business, that's a good sign. It's really hard to quantify exactly, but just make sure you're keeping an eye on that and accounting and considering that you may not be acquiring customers at a really cheap rate, but you're acquiring new customers, which is really important for growth, right? Now, let's move on to the quick live example I've got for you. So I've used this structure in another account that's running at a reasonably high budget now. It was really, really high over the holidays and it did really well between Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas. But you can see the structure in play here, right? So we have our branded campaigns, branded search, branded shopping. These are just, I've just selected our Australian campaigns here to give you a brief overview of the structure, right? So we have our branded search targeting our branded keywords in Australia, our branded shopping targeting branded shopping traffic in Australia and a few other countries as well. High budget on this because we're targeting multiple countries. And then we have our prospecting shopping campaign. So it's called generic in here, but this is a prospecting shopping campaign. And then we have our PMAX retargeting campaign, right? So like I said above, the PMAX has a much higher TROAS than the shopping prospecting campaign, which allows us to focus most of the remarketing traffic towards the PMAX and focus new customer acquisition to shopping. So that is everything I have for you today. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you want this structure set up in your account and you don't want to go to the effort of doing it yourself, feel free to book a call down below. Also, if you have any questions about the structure and implementing it in your own account, please feel free to book a call down below. And I would love to chat to you about it and help you grow your account with Google Ads. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.